Hello there, and welcome. As I understand it, you're looking for a bit of an adjustment. Is that correct? Okay, well, I'd love to start by just taking a look at you and getting an idea of maybe what we can do to help you out. Is there anything specific that you're concerned about? Any specific pain, dysfunction? Just taking a look at the different relationships in the body. Okay. Just looking at how the head and the neck are working together. Shoulders and the neck, arms and the shoulders, so on and so forth. Okay, so I see a few things off the bat, but we're going to go a step further and do a little bit of testing just to see what exactly is going on. And I'm going to start with the head. So I am going to hold on to your head and I'm going to move it around a little bit and just see what's going on in the vertebrae and if there's any restriction, anything like that. So I'm just going to have you just let me take the weight of your head. There we go. There we go. Let's just go ahead and move your head back. Okay, that's not quite on center, is it? Let's try that again. No, there's a little bit. Maybe an impingement. Maybe some kind of muscle tightness there. So, why don't we bring this forward? Okay, and that's straight on. Right, and again. Yeah, no, that's just fine. Okay, let's turn your head this way. Just kind of the way that your head this way. Your head was kind of leaning towards this way. And this way. Okay, I'm going to tilt your head just like this. Yeah, that looks fine. How about right in here? No, that is too. One more time, just tilt this way. Okay, and how about right in here? Good. I'm going to try to move your head backwards again. Yeah, no, it's got that little bit of a twist to it. That is a little odd, but that's certainly something we can work with. Let me just take a little peek here. Just look at there's a little bit of a twist there, and the muscles are pretty tight. So that's certainly something we'll want to hone in on, absolutely. Now, let's take a look at the shoulders here. So, I am just going to roll the shoulders a bit if I can. Might be a little awkward. Just picking your arm up a bit and trying to get movement and back. Yeah, that's pretty tight. The other side here. I know it's hard to kind of let go when you're sitting up. It's a lot easier laying down. So we'll do a little bit more of a look later on. Just kind of poking into the rotator cuff muscles here. Okay. Maybe a bit on that. Let's look at the arms. So, more specifically, the elbow joints here. Is any of this painful? Okay, I'm just kind of palpating around the tendons here and over here. Okay. Can you just bend your arms in and out for me at the elbow? Any pain or tenderness with any of that? No? Okay. Can I see your hands now? I'm going to just palpate around the wrists and the joints of the fingers. Okay, nothing too bad here. Alright, so maybe just a little tune-up with those, just to keep them in good shape. Now, I'm going to look at your spine and the sacrum, the hips in a moment, but I want to take a look at the knees and the feet while I'm facing you here. So, as I palpate around the knee, any pain or tenderness here? Slide. Okay, so no pain or tenderness here then. Alright. Would you mind just popping your feet up on my knee here so I can take a look? Okay. Now, the ankle here, if I roll the foot around one way and the other, is this painful at all? No, you've got good range of movement here. If I squeeze the toe joints, any pain? Okay. And if I poke around on the soles of the feet, okay, they are a little swollen as well. Okay, now the other foot, again, same thing. I'm just going to roll the ankle around. A little bit of cracking. That's normal. And toes. Okay, and soles of the feet. Alright, not very nice. Yeah. Okay, well, we can certainly work on that as well. Now, I'm going to have you shift around so that I can take a look at your back, that I can look at everything from the cervical vertebrae to the lumbar, and then we'll get into the sacrum as well as the hips. Okay, so let's start by looking at these neck vertebrae. So, have you had any sort of injury at all? Or maybe overexertion, overuse of these areas in an incorrect manner? For example, if you have your head quite pitched forward for a long time, if your neck's bent a lot. Okay, and just keeping along the line of the spine. Okay, so certainly got a few vertebrae that are a little twisted. And I'm gonna want to see if maybe one side is higher than the other. And I'll do that in a moment. So as for the sacrum here. Okay, if I press in here, is that, yeah, that's pretty tender. Okay, if I come along the iliac crest here, along the pelvis, how is that? Okay, so in towards the middle is more painful. As I go outwards, less so. Okay, I'm gonna hit a spot that's probably gonna be pretty tender. Let me know if it is. Yeah, right in there. Yeah, this is an area. I have some pretty annoying sciatic pain myself, so that's an area that if you dig in a little bit, if you have that sort of issue, it can flare up a bit. But we can certainly work with that. We can get a little bit more space in here so the nerve's not as compressed. And let me see the hips. I just want to see the alignment here. Yeah, we've got a bit of a tilt. How about the shoulders here? Yeah, a little bit of a tilt. Okay. Let's check the scapulae. So no winging here. And yeah, they sit normal on the body. Okay. Last test here. I'm going to have you bend forward as far as you can. And then you're going to come up very slowly, almost vertebra by vertebra, okay? That way I can get a good look at which specific vertebrae are twisted out, if one side is higher than the other at certain points. Just come up very slowly. There. Okay. I see. So, go ahead and twist back around. Alrighty, so we've got a few things that we want to work on here. So, I am going to have you lay down, face up on the table to start, and then towards the end, we'll have you face down. But we are going to start by working on the head and neck, work our way down, okay? Alright, I'm going to give you a minute, get all situated, and I will see you in just a second. Just going to arrange you a little bit, make sure you are well supported here. This is comfortable. Do you want any drapery at all? Blanket? Any pillows? Okay. Alrighty. Let me just roll up the old sleeves a little bit more. And we're going to focus on the head. So, what I had said is that we would start in with the head neck relationship. So let me just grab a bit here. Okay. Alrighty, so how we're going to work with your body. This is called Bodywork. Very simple. These are manual therapies. So for example, to start, I'm just doing a little craniosacral work where we're working extremely gently on the skull, manipulating little bones again extremely gently, feeling the fluid, the flow. And bodywork, manual therapy, what have you, encompasses a lot of different work. For example, you have chiropractic. You have Rolfing, you have Feldenkrais method, so those two would be structural integration and functional integration. You have Rosen Method, obviously craniosacral that we're working with, and our goal is to address and correct dysfunction in the body, pain, trying to get to the root cause of things, whether it's something in the structure, the fascia, the muscles. Okay, let's just look. I'm gonna get real close here. Okay, so I'm just going to very gently press in here. We're gonna try to get this vertebra to realign. This one's kind of impinging here. Okay. And on the other side here, we're going to try to loosen this up. Everything is a bit of a balancing act. I'll come back in here. And I'm not really looking, that's not what I need to do, but what I need to do is look with my hands. Just palpating around and seeing what we can do. So I'm going to press in here. This muscle is pretty tight. We'll just give that a few seconds and release. If I come in from back here, if I just do this right here. Okay. A few seconds. Release. Good. Okay. There we go. That's opening up a little bit. I'm just going to move your head a smidge. Let's move this right here. Okay. Just hold right there. Let's see. Okay, that definitely changes things. So, right here. See if we can just let this relax a little. Good. And then let's see if that happens on the other side. So right about here. Okay. There we go. Pressing in here. Good. Okay. And then let's just bring you back. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to do a little poking around here. Just let me know if any of this is painful or tender. Okay, so nothing around the masseter, about the temporalis. Okay. Alrighty. So, I don't need to release in there. Why don't we go ahead and move on to the shoulder. So let me see the shoulder here. I'm going to take your arm, and since you're laying down, this will be a bit easier than earlier, but we're going to just rotate this. Good, and back. How is that? Okay. Put your arm down. I'm actually going to pick up your shoulder. So one hand underneath, one hand on top. And we're going to roll it around like this. And back. And how does that feel? Okay, so I'll get to the other side after this one. The shoulders, while they have a relationship with the general structure of the body, we can isolate each one. So we're going to unlock some of these rotator cuff muscles here and get a little bit more freedom in there. So let me come underneath. Just feeling around here. So we've got 4 main rotator cuff muscles. These include the muscles like teres minor, subscapularis, but when we're dealing with the shoulder, we also have to keep in mind the trapezius, pectoralis major, pectoralis minor. We have a lot of other adjacent muscles that can be affected. Okay, in the front here, we just want to unlock these muscles and see how it affects everything else. You change one thing and there's a whole chain reaction. Okay, so I'm going to lift up your shoulder again from the back, so you'll feel it come off the table. Other hand is going to be right on front, and we're going to give this a nice long stretch here. So we're going to be really rotating this as much as it will go. We are really utilizing the entire ball joint here. And back. And nice and slow. Nice and slow. There. Now I'm going to take this arm. And we're going to do that again. So if I rotate it like this, and like this, did that change? Okay. This arm goes here. Let's look at this side. So arm comes up, and if we do this, and that's a lot different. Okay. It's good that we have that bit of comparison. So we'll go ahead and just work in along these muscles again. There. And I'm just going to pull the shoulder up so we can work in underneath. Work inside here. Just going to move the arm so that I can get right in here. So this one's a little tighter. And the ear structure was, I mean, it's certainly not the worst I've ever seen, but it was still not ideal. So it makes sense that one side is going to be trickier than the other. Okay, if I come in under with this side, then with this. We're getting a lot of movement. The table covering is trying to slip away with us. As are you. And the other side. And the other way, rather. Okay. Let me I'm gonna scoot ya. I'm gonna lift your shoulder and arm. There we go. Is that a bit better? Yeah. The table covering can be a little sticky when it's humid like this. Just your skin likes to stay adhered to it. So the little covering helps quite a bit. Nobody likes to peel themselves off of leather, pleather, what have you. Not fun. So I'm going to take your arm and we're going to go up and in and out. And how is this? Okay. So, why don't we look at the chest here? Because we've done a lot of work around the shoulders. What often gets missed a lot of times is the front of the chest here, which is an area that gets shortened. If we slouch forward, these muscles get shorter, the posterior muscles get longer. So we're going to do some stretching here, and this is probably going to be uncomfortable. It really probably is, because these muscles are not their usual length, but they've kind of got stuck that way. So I'm using my hands to kind of traction them apart. Good. This side. Just gonna see what's going on. We'll see what's up with the sternum. Okay, right in here. Is this so underneath my fingertips? The skin feels quite tight here. Do you feel that tightness around here? Okay, and that's in these intercostal muscles here. So I'm going to run my fingers through the spaces in between the ribs, your intercostal muscles here, and try to bring a little bit of space here. Intercostals they're a pain and a half. They really are. They're very important, but dang, if you goof one up, okay, that keeps catching, so let's see. There. Just have to do it with the other finger there. So let's see right in here. get to the back, we'll be able to try to tighten up the muscles a little bit, which is a little more difficult. It's easier to stretch things than it is to try to make things less elastic, but we can facilitate their structure so that we can make that happen, but that's going to take a bit of work. Okay, let's see your arm now. I'm just going to take the weight of this and I'm going to just bend this in and out myself. I know you had done that, but I just want to double check. So, wrist here, internal, external, up and down, in and out. Any pain or tenderness there? Okay. So, let me put that right there. Let's just look at the muscles. That inside so we can see. There's flexors and extensors in here, and it's kind of tight. It's a little tight, so I'm going to take your arm. I'm going to move this so it's out, and your arm is laying on my lap here. Let's see if we can get into that a little bit. Yeah. We're just going to try to create some space in there. Try to open this up, and then if I turn, we'll get into our extensors here, and try to open this area up too. Okay. Now I'm going to put the arm here, and we're going to do, I'm just going to hold you right here. We're going to do a little bit of traction. I'm going to pull your arm back. We're just going to create a little space between the joints. Okay. And go back again here. And again. Okay. Let's take a look at the fingers here. So why don't we go ahead and just give them a pull. Okay, still got a couple there. Can I crack them any other way? Nope, those are stubborn. Okay. A little crack, little pull. And then the other side. So in and out with the elbow. That's okay. Alright, wrist. Rotate internally, externally, side to side, up and down. Little cracking, nothing crazy. No. The upper arm is pretty good, both arms. It's just, I'm gonna bring this arm over across you so I can really work into the forearm. I'll try to stretch that out. So I'm using both of my hands to just pull apart like this. And get some space in there. Good. Okay, flip it over. And just smooth that out. Okay, so as for traction here, One of my hands is going to pull the arm, the other is going to stabilize the shoulder. We're just going to pull, let it rest, pull, good, let it rest, and pull. Alright, let me see the fingers. Nope, none of those want to crack. Nope, nothing else. You got some pretty rigid fingers there. We'll just give them a pull then. Okay, so I am gonna have you flip over. We're gonna work on your back. We're gonna work on the hips, legs, maybe the feet a little bit. We'll see how far we get. Okay? I'll give you a second to flip over and we'll keep going. So, this side. We're also going to bring in the roller. I'm just going to set this to your side right here because I want to focus first on the vertebrae as well as the back of the shoulders here. Make sure these rotator cuff muscles are good. We're going to work with the lengthened muscles. And we'll use this for some breaking up of those adhesions. See if we can create that structure we're looking for. So, let me just take a look at how things are aligned here. So, this is going to need to be warmed up a little. Maybe after our roller, we'll really work into the vertebrae. Let's take a peek at our shoulders. So if I press in here, does this feel okay? How about on this side? It does. Okay. And what about right in here? Okay, so this is where the muscles are going to be longer than they should be because the muscles in front are shorter than they should be. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in with the roller here. This will help warm things up as well. That little bit I started with. But it'll help also break up some things, make it easier for us to work in there. Other side. We're gonna get the table, making some little creaks here since we're putting a good amount of pressure on the body. Let's see what we got. Is any of this painful or tender? Good. Go back in. Smooth everything out, so I'm going to put one hand on the opposite shoulder, one on the hip, and let's just stretch that out a little. Okay. Stretch. Okay. Just gonna open everything up here. Let's check out these vertebrae. So I am just going to press this one down. We're gonna get some force in there. Let me know if it's too much. Okay. Right. As we just work down right in here. Good. Okay. Right here. There. Down in the lumbar, that one, those are, let's go this side and just press that in. Let's look at the sacrum here. So this is an area where unfortunately it's going to be pretty tender. So I'm going to put some weight in here and just bring my body weight down on top of it. Let me know if it's too much. Okay, we're just gonna hold here. We're gonna try to release the muscles. Okay, right in here. Just going to do some vertical pressure. Just stack that in there. Okay, right in here. Good. And just bringing that down. Okay. Alrighty. This is just going to be pretty tender in general. Let's see if we can get in here and maybe release a little bit. Okay. Right in here. There. Let's bring this in. Just give everybody an all over a little. Let's look at the legs here. So let me bring this back. Back. Okay, other knee. Back. And back. Okay, so let's just rotate the ankle up, down, in and out. Rotate in, rotate out, up, down, in and out. Okay, I'm going to take your leg here. And I'm going to do some traction and let it rest. Traction. Rest. Traction. Rest. Okay. Other side. Okay. Legs are a little heavier than arms. Okay. Let me pull out the toes a bit. No, nothing. I really haven't met many people that get just one or two cracks from the joints. That's a little unsatisfying, but that's alright. So, as for the feet, let me just see this here. We're going to do just some squeezing. Open this up. Good. Now you're going to want to take care when you do get up. You might feel a little dizzy. And I'm going to give you a minute to reacclimate. Other foot, and then we'll see. We'll see how everything looks. And the feet, I think we can make a bigger. Maybe we can go bottom to top next time. Give it a bit more attention. Okay. You go ahead and just take your time getting back up, okay? I will give you a few moments, and if you need to hold on to anything, need to take it slow, that's okay. Alright. So, I'll see you back sitting up in just a second. Let me just look at everything now that you are sitting upright. Do you feel any dizziness at all? Okay, good. That's good. You might a little bit when you get off the table, but it's a good sign that you do not currently, probably won't have any of that. So, the shoulders are certainly a lot lower. We've got a better alignment, certainly. Let me look at the hips here. Okay, we don't have that tilt, which is good. And let me see. Let me see the head a moment. Just let me take the weight of your head. There we are. Okay, so we can go straight back, and that's not a problem. Go to the side. Tilt and tilt. Yeah, no, the neck's a lot freer, and it looks like that little bit is all good. Although, here, let's put you at a better neutral. There we go. There. Still a little pliable. Okay, so is there anything else that I can do for you? Is there any lingering areas of pain? Any issues whatsoever that we can get taken care of? Okay, all good? Alright, excellent. So these sort of adjustments will usually, if we work on them, let's say every week to 2 weeks, we can expect that after at least a few sessions that things will start to stick and things will not slide back into old patterns. We gotta give your body some time to learn. So, I would like to see you back in a week, maybe 2, whatever works for your schedule, and we'll tweak anything that's gone goofy at all, and we'll just keep building upon that. Alright? Okay. Well, I would like to thank you so much for coming in to see me. I'm glad we were able to get everything adjusted. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon, without which I wouldn't be able to make these videos. If you'd like to help support the channel, I have a link to my Patreon in the description box below. I offer perks like early access to videos, Patreon exclusive videos, ad-free videos, audio downloads of all my content. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a whale of a day.